I'm well aware that I'm pretty late to finally be talking about this game. I mean, Scarlet and Violet will be released in a few months after this video is uploaded, but I want to talk about Sword and Shield anyways. And maybe it can help some of you who haven't played the game in a while, or even at all for that matter. So I'm going to summarize the main story plots and the DLC stuff as well, just like I do in my other Pokemon videos. Anyhow, let's go ahead and start our journey through the Galar region. When you first start the game, it opens up with this suave looking dude named Rose. He's introducing the world of Pokemon to the player. Is he the professor? Nope. Who cares? I just want to play the game. It shows the game's current champion right from the get-go. No secrets in this game. At least there's an actual crowd, unlike most of the past Pokemon games. So anyhow, your friend comes to your place to take you somewhere. Get out of my house! So this is Hop. He's the champion's younger brother. His brother is about to be back from his match that we just saw earlier, so we're heading to greet him at the train station as he arrives. Wow, I guess he's pretty famous. This is Leon. I guess he promised to give you and Hop a Pokemon, so we head back to him and Hop's place and check him out. Of course, here are your 3 starters. I went with Grookey. It wouldn't be a Pokemon game if you didn't have to battle your friendly rival right away. Hey, he's got a Wooloo already, that's cheating! The first battle is pretty easy, obviously. Hop is incredibly flabbergasted by the fact that you already know about type matchups. It's time to begin your adventure, but first you hear a loud crash. What was that? I guess there was this Wooloo that was by the gate, and it broke it open and ran into the dangerous forest. So what do? You blindly chase after the sheep. Great. After you run deep enough into the forest, the fog gets really thick. Then some giant dog sneaks up on you. So you try to battle it, but your attacks just don't work. Well, I guess we're screwed then. You eventually both get knocked out. Then Leon finds you both. The Wooloo is fine, and I guess Leon has no idea as to what wolf Pokemon you guys just saw. Anyhow, it's time to leave home for real now, so we head down to Wedgehurst. Leon takes you to meet this woman named Sonia. She's the granddaughter of the professor of the game, Magnolia. In the past, Sonia went on an adventure with Leon, similar to what you and Hop are about to do. She installs a Pokedex on your Rotom phone. Sweet. So Hop suggests that you both go visit Professor Magnolia to seek advice to get into the gym challenge. You need to be endorsed by someone to take part in it, and Leon thinks that you and Hop are chumps, so he doesn't want to sign for you. What an asshole. The Professor and Leon are there. They keep mentioning Dynamaxing, which is the phenomenon where Pokemon grow super big in battles. For example, like that Charizard from earlier. So Hop begs Leon to endorse you both, and the Professor insists that he does sign us both. Good work, Granny. So Leon wants to see you both battle before he makes his decision. Bro, we already did this crap. I'm just gonna win like last time. Anyhow, after you beat Hop, Leon is blown away by the battle and signs both of you. A shooting star falls nearby right after the battle. This is a wishing star. The professor is actually able to make a Dynamax band from it, so she makes one for you and Hop. So now you're both able to Dynamax when you're near a power spot. So now we can actually begin our gym challenge. You and Hop head to the train station, your mothers both meet you to say goodbye, and then it's time to hit the tracks. You're headed to the town called Motostoke, so you can register for the gym challenge and participate in the opening ceremony. We're gonna be famous! Along the ride, it stops halfway to Motostoke though. I guess some Wooloo were on the tracks, so they stopped. Great. So now we have to run through the wild area to get the rest of the way to Motostoke. Sonia pops up randomly. I guess she was curious about that wolf Pokemon you saw in the forest, so she decided to tag along on your adventure to see if she can learn anything from it. The wild area is pretty big, and there's Pokemon that are way higher level than what you currently have, but due to gym badge limitations, you can only catch up to a certain level. Lame. Each day the weather actually changes, and the Pokemon that are in the area are different. It happened to be snowing, so I caught me a snow run. Once you're in Motostoke, Sonia gives you a quick tour of the town and gives you Leon's league card. Now we can go up to Motostoke Stadium and get registered for the gym challenge opening ceremony. It takes place tomorrow. Look at this guy. Anyhow, you get to pick your jersey number. Now let's be mature about it. So after we get registered, we have to go check into the hotel and chill until the event the next day. So in the hotel, you see Sonia by some statue. She gives you a quick history lesson about some fairy tale that during a massive black storm called the Darkest Day, giant monsters were ravaging the lands, but a hero with a sword and a shield saved everyone. The Legend of Zelda? So you head over to go check into your room, but some group called Team Yell is blocking the way, so no one can check in. Get out of the way, assholes! They try to battle you, but they suck, so you quickly defeat them, and then they're called off like dogs by this girl named Marnie. She has this bad girl look to her, but she's actually really nice. Team Yell are her fans because she's the younger sister of the gym leader from the town that Team Yell is from. We'll see more about that later. She apologizes on Team Yell's behalf, and now everyone can check in. So we sleep the day away, then off to the opening ceremony we go. We're in the Motostoke Stadium, and Rose, the chairman of the Galar Pokemon League, shows off all the gym leaders to the crowd. Then introduces all of us gym challengers as well. Holy crap, I'm so excited. Afterwards, you have a quick meet and greet with Rose. He seems to have high expectations for you and Hop, seeing that you were both endorsed by the champion. And then off we head to the first gym. We have to pass through Route 3 first though, but before that, we have to battle Hop again and remind him how tight matchups work. Anyways, Route 3 is boring. There's trainers you can battle, and it has some ore processing plant. Then we have to go through Galar Mine. It's really pretty in here actually, but imagine it without all the colorful crystals though. That would suck. Even the battle scenery is cool looking. As you pass through the mines, you see that guy from earlier. He's hella full of himself, and he talks about how he's endorsed by the chairman, and it makes him more important, and blah blah blah. You battle him. His name is Bede, and I guess that makes him your second rival? I guess he's collecting wishing stars for the chairman. Okay. Once you leave the mine, you can see the gym in the distance. You meet the first gym leader there, Milo. You can't face him right away though. Why not? So instead you meet up with Sonia and learn more about the Darkest Day again. Yeah, this sure looks dark. So after that, you can head into the first gym. You have to herd all these Wooloo into the cages up ahead to progress further into the gym. It kinda reminds me of that Safari Zone minigame from the Let's Go games. Anyhow, now it's time to face Milo. This is the first time you get to battle with Dynamax Pokemon. Every gym battle is like this. Once you're done, you get the Grass Badge. It looks like it's gonna fall out of that ring. So now that we're finished, we can head east to Route 5, which will take us to the next gym. There's some nurse dude getting jumped by these Team Yell guys, so you whoop their asses real quick, then the nurse dude gives you a bike. Hell yeah. You get in a quick battle with Hop, then shortly afterwards you make it to Holbury. Once in town, you see Chairman Rose again. Nice boxer briefs. What the hell, man? Bede seems super set on impressing the chairman, but Rose doesn't really give a crap. I guess Rose actually wants to meet you in the restaurant after you've gotten this town's gym badge. So you find the gym leader by the lighthouse, because of course, she's not in her gym. She already knows who you are, I guess. Apparently you're pretty famous among the gym leaders. Wait, how though? I only have one badge. Anyhow, her name is Nessa. In her gym you have to navigate through a bunch of water-based puzzles to get to the end. Luckily, I have a grass starter, so the battle's pretty easy. And now you have the water badge. Now it's time to go meet the chairman at that restaurant. For some reason, Sonia is already there. He talks to Sonia about the mystery of Dynamaxing and tells her that she should visit the vault in Hammerlock if she wants to learn more about it. He talks to her the whole time. Why the hell am I even here? Once you leave the restaurant, Hop gives you some insight on the next gym leader, the fire leader Kabu. Apparently, he's not at his gym right now. He's gone doing training. Why? Shouldn't he have gotten his training done before the start of the gym challenge? So you and Hop seek him out where he's training to hopefully get him to go back to his gym in Motostoke. Then you bump into Bede again. Screw off, dude. So anyways, we continue through the mines, dodging wild Pokemon, and battling miners, and then we find Kabu. He beat these two team guys saying they were disrupting some working Pokemon, but I guess they were just cheering it on. Team Yell isn't so bad, I guess. Luckily, Kabu was just finished with his training, and he tells us to rest up tonight in the hotel and to see him tomorrow in the gym. Nice. The mines actually lead you right back to Motostoke, where our gym challenge began, so head west once you exit the mines. Once you get to the hotel, you see Marnie in the lobby. She wants to battle you to test herself real fast, then you both head to sleep for the night. The next morning she gives you a couple items and cheers you on for the gym battle with Kabu. The fire gym is a lot different than the other gyms. It feels more like a trial like in Sun and Moon. So instead of battling trainers, you have to do battles with wild Pokemon with another trainer present in the battle. Whoever KOs the Pokemon first gets a point, or whoever catches the Pokemon gets 2 points. So what you can do is jump the other trainer's Pokemon, then catch all the wild Pokemon first. I actually need a fire type, so I decided to add this Sizzlepede to my party. Once you're done with the challenge, you finally get to battle the third gym leader, Kabu. My Vaporeon's a beast, so this was pretty easy. And with that, you now have the fire badge. You and Hop head off to the wild area, then you're stopped by Kabu. What's this all about? Apparently, it's pretty uncommon for gym challengers to get their first 3 badges, so these 3 like to get together to see off any trainers who manage to make it this far and encourage them to keep going. That's pretty cool. So now you're in the wild area to head off to the next gym in Hammerlock. But Bede pops up like a beetle to harass you and Hop, and then they head off to battle. It's none of my business, I'm heading to Hammerlock. So once you make it to town, Bede shows up to update you on his battle with Hop. That was fast. I guess he completely demolished him, so he's probably in hiding after that embarrassing loss. Well, that sucks. We follow Bede into town and he's bragging about finding wishing stars and beating Hop. Okay, we get it, bro. Alright, I know I already pointed this out before, but dude, he's walking around in his damn underwear. Like, what the fuck? Put on some pants. Anyways, he gives you a quick tour of Hammerlock's gym. It's actually the 8th gym, but it also doubles as an energy plant. The energy plant's located in the basement below. This energy plant powers all of Galar, so this dude is probably rich as hell. I guess he could dress however he wants then. He says you should go visit the vault next to learn more about the town. Sonia was actually heading there too, so maybe we'll see her there. So at the vault, we bump into this guy named Raihan. He was in the intro cutscene battling Leon. He's the 8th gym leader, the dragon user. Anyhow, he lets us inside the vault, so we head up to the top floor, and there's Sonia Blade. I mean, Sonia. You and Sonia look at these tapestries and go over how they tell the story of the creation of the old kingdom in Galar. There seems to be a discrepancy though. In the hotel from earlier, the statue had just one hero with a shield and sword. But here's 2 heroes, one with either the sword or the shield. Well, Sonia, I hope you're having fun with this, because I'm bored, and I have more important things to do. Like watching this sleeping silly cobra. Team Yell doesn't want anyone waking it up, so they battle you and Hop to stop you from going near it. This is what you run into when heading west from Hammerlock, because you need to pass here to get to the next town, Stow on Side. Hop loses his battle, so you gotta face this girl for him. I guess Bede really kicked Hop's ass pretty hard, and Bede told him he's a loser who's dragging his brother's name into the dirt. This really makes him upset, and he goes running off like a baby. Maybe if he took the time to actually learn about type matchups, he would actually win some battles. Holy shit, what the fuck is that? Oh, it's just an old lady. Whew, I guess she's the fairy gym leader. Jeez, and I thought the fairy leader in X and Y was creepy. So you battle your way through the desert mountains on Route 6. There's lots of trainers to battle and ladders to climb. Hey look, this Doug trio reminds me of the one in Pokemon Snap. Once you get to Stow on Side, you meet Hop in town. He's still disappointed with himself for losing battles, so he wants to try to battle you to try to remember why he became a trainer to begin with. Not a good idea, man. Anyhow, after you beat him, he seems to feel a little better after the match. So now we get to go face the next gym leader. Now, depending on what version you play, the gym will be different. In Pokemon Sword, you get this fighting-themed gym with giant boxing gloves, which honestly seems to make more sense based on the desert that's surrounding the town. And the gym leader would be Bea. Or B? I don't know. But in Pokemon Shield, you go through the same puzzle, but it's ghost theme, and it has these dark hands. And the gym leader is Alistair instead. Oh, and for those curious, this is what he looks like under the mask. Once you're done with the battle, you get your 4th badge. Since I'm playing Shield, the Ghost Badge. So we leave the gym and Sonia is outside waiting for you. She wants to show you an ancient mural in town when BOOM! There's a loud crash coming from the direction of the mural. What the hell is going on? So Bede is borrowing this Pokemon from the chairman to try to destroy the mural, because he thinks there's wishing stars behind it. He's obsessed with pleasing the chairman. Chill out, dude. So you battle him to make him stop. He actually doesn't battle you with the Copperisia that the chairman let him borrow. And then the chairman shows up. And this time he's actually wearing pants. Chairman Rose and his assistant lady are pretty pissed off with Bede for damaging the mural, and with the chairman's own Pokemon no less. Bede thinks the mural means nothing compared to some sort of fate that's thousands of years from now, as if we care about that. So then Rose actually bans Bede from participating in the gym challenge any further. Good. So they all leave the Hammerlock to figure out what to do with Bede when the mural falls apart. And it reveals some hidden statue. Sonia has one of her little Jinkies moments. There's 2 wolf Pokemon holding the sword and shield, and 2 people behind them. Gee, what could that possibly mean? Anyways, now we can head north to the next gym, which is through the Glimwood Tangle. This is another really cool looking area in the game. There's lots of colorful mushrooms and these sneaky little bastard Pokemon. It's like a forest straight out of a dream. So once we get through the forest, we make it to Balonlia? I don't know, man. This is a really pretty town, but we're straight to business here. In this gym, you see Marnie again. I guess her Morpeko likes you. Anyways, this is the Fairy Gym, a fitting gym for this fantasy land. Here's the fairy leader from earlier. Her name is Opal. She's ready to retire, so her challenge is actually to find a candidate to take her place as the fairy gym leader. But I don't want to be the fairy gym leader. So you get on the stage and battle these fairy ladies. You answer various questions during the battle. If you get them right, you get stat boosts, and if you're wrong, they lower your stats. Fairy Pokemon are honestly a weird type, so it can be a little tricky. I like this giant cake Pokemon, Alcremie. Now that you've beaten her, you have the fairy badge. After you leave the gym, Opal steps out with you. She's heading to Hammerlock 2, which is actually your next destination, so you can go with her and it's like a free teleport to the next part of the game. When you get to Hammerlock, it seems Bede is still really persistent on impressing the chairman. Opal walks by immediately and pesters him to be the next fairy gym leader. I guess she likes his style. She has this long, rigorous training camp planned for him. Good, take this bug away from me. Now you have to head east towards Route 7 to... Oh, it's Sonia. She's still mulling over the mystery of the Darkest Day legends when... Boom! Another explosion? Come on, man. Leon pops up and he says that Rose is probably testing some crap and that he will handle things. Sonia says her device is picking up a power spot in town, so Pokemon might start randomly Dynamaxing and destroy everything? Oh no! Anyways, we head out to Route 7 instead to head to our next gym. You have to battle Hop again real fast, then you pass through Route 8, which looks like some ancient ruins. Look at these Phalanx, marching around like they own the place. So there's tons of people to battle, but eventually you'll make it to some snow, and that's how you know you're in your next destination, Sirchester. I love this town. It's definitely the most chill town in the game. The music is so relaxing. It reminds me of Christmas. Anyways, we got a gym to beat. When you get inside, Hop runs up to you, and I guess he lost. Dude, how does Hop have 5 gym badges, but he loses almost every battle? Anyhow, like with the gym in Stowe on side, this gym has a different leader depending on if you're playing Sword or Shield. In Sword, you go through this rock-themed gym and face this guy named Gordy. In Shield, you go through an ice-themed gym, which is much more appropriate since it's a snow town. You use these sensors to track for pitfalls, kind of like with the item finder. Now, this would have been really easy, but you see, my Pokemon controller doesn't have a rumble feature, which is needed to track these pitfalls, so I basically did this blind. It sucked. The gym leader here is a woman named Melanie. I guess she's actually Gordy's mother. Do you see the family resemblance? Anyways, bring a fire type, and you should be good to go. Now that you've beaten her, you have yourself the 6th badge, the Ice Badge. Once you leave, Sonia is outside waiting for you, and she wants to celebrate your victory by taking you to this restaurant called Bob's Burgers. Just kidding, it's called Bob's Your Uncle. Inside the restaurant, she immediately notices this tapestry, and it gives her an idea about the missing link in the Darkest Day mystery. So after you all eat, you inspect the hero's bath. I guess this is where the heroes bathed after sustaining injuries during the battle of the Darkest Days. So you and Hop battle here, then it's time to head off to the next town. Route 9 is a snowy route like Sirchester. Team Yell's here cheering on this dreadnought, but they're also stopping people from crossing the water because they don't want anyone in their town. So we take care of them, and this doctor dude gives us an upgrade so we can ride our bike across the water. Hell yeah. Why are there swimmers out here? It's cold as hell. Crazy bastards. So we finally get out of the snow and make it to the next town, Spikemuth. Except the front gate is closed. Open up, assholes! Marnie helps you sneak into the side entrance. After a battle, of course. She grew up here, and like I said earlier, she's the younger sister to the gym leader, which is why Team Yell is so supportive of her. She leaves you to your gym challenge so she can look into getting the front gate open. Now, Spikemuth isn't really much of a town, it's just a gym that looks like a town. You know, I haven't mentioned it yet, but I really hate that you're forced to wear these stupid jerseys in these gyms. At least give me the option to wear something else. Anyhow, this gym is pretty cool. It reminds me of the Poison Gym in black and white too. But I will admit these cutscenes are kinda awkward. Could they at least try to sync the audio? At this point, I'd prefer pre-rendered cutscenes. Anyways, this is the leader, Pierre's. He uses Dark-type Pokemon, and he actually does not Dynamax his Pokemon. Anyways, once you beat him, you get the Dark Badge. Just one more to go. Marnie shows up next to challenge her brother for the badge. I guess he wants her to be the next gym leader so he can retire. When you leave the town, there's another kaboom. Is it the chairman's testing again? Leon is here and he says he's gonna go take care of it again, and to just focus on the gym challenge. Good. That's exactly what I want to do. But things seem to be hitting the fan a little bit. People are crowding up in this tunnel because of the commotion. You find Hop after you pass through the tunnel. He says a red light was surging and Pokemon were Dynamaxing everywhere. Jeez, that's crazy. You know what would have been awesome? A cutscene showing that happen? Oh, but don't worry, there's a screenshot of a news article. That's all the context we need. So Leon took care of the Dynamax Pokemon, so we head straight back into Hammerlock where all the danger was just happening to go see Leon. This is also where the 8th gym is, so that's convenient. So you meet up with the gang, and I guess according to Sonia, the Pokemon were Dynamaxing without a power spot. They seem to react to the red light. Then Magnolia pops up. I guess the chairman asked for her input on the situation. The light may be connected to the Darkest Day, so Magnolia employs her granddaughter Sonia to help. Hop seems eager to help too, but they insist that we keep on with the gym challenge. Good. So now it's time to enter the last gym, the Dragon Gym. So the gym is just one room. No lava maze? No giant moving statues? And wait a sec, this is the same room as the vault from earlier. Lazy bastards. So here you do nothing but double battles. You battle these two trainers, and then you have a double battle with the leader, Raihan. He looks kinda weird. Like, calm down, dude. He likes to use sandstorms in his battles, so be prepared for that. Mr. Rulodon is pretty tanky, so just FYI, its weaknesses are fighting and ground type. So now you're done, you got the Dragon Badge. So now what? It's time for the Champion Cup, that's what. Magnolia and Sonia are outside of the gym waiting for you. They talk more about the Darkest Day mumbo jumbo, then Sonia gets a spiffy new lab coat. Cool. So now it's time to head to Winden, where the Champion Cup is. I guess Hop managed to beat Raihan too, which is pretty surprising with how often he loses battles. So you and Hop board the monorail yet again, and set off for the big leagues. You get off the subway and now you're here in Winden. I mean Route 10. Why did it drop us off at Route 10? Isn't Winden a huge town with a train station? And yeah, it does connect to Hammerlock, the station that we left from. There was no explanation for stopping like with that Wooloo that was on the track from earlier. So why the fuck did it drop us off in a frozen wasteland? That's not cool. Anyways, you make your way up north. Might as well get some training in. There's really not much to say about Route 10. I guess it's just one last obstacle. But then you make it out of the snow and make it into the big city. Winden is pretty cool. In fact, most of the cities in this game are honestly pretty cool. But I'm not here to go sightseeing. Hell no. I'm here to become the champion. So you go straight to the Winden Stadium and get registered for the semifinals. So it's not the main tournament just yet. First you have to face Marnie. You've already battled her several times before, so you should be able to handle her just fine. Next up, you have to battle Hop. I wonder who he battled before this match. Anyways, like with Marnie, you should be plenty ready to face off with Hop again. In fact, he might even be easier than Marnie. Anyhow, you defeat Hop, and that means you're eligible to participate in the finals. Leon congratulates you on your victory, and of course he's a bit sad that his little brother lost, but he is greatly looking forward to challenging you. Leon wants to have dinner with you and Hop at the hotel. Leon is running late for some reason. This makes Hop act all worried. Piers walks up to you and says Leon is headed for Rose's tower. That liar, he's probably ditching us to chill with Rose and a bunch of groupies. So we decide to go crash their little party, and Piers is down to come as well. He even brings Marnie and Team Yell along. Then the assistant lady, her name is Alina by the way, comes to tell us to screw off. No one is allowed to interfere with Rose and Leon's little meeting. This seems kind of suspicious. There's a special key needed to get to the Rose Tower, and Alina gives it to this fake Pokemon League dude. He runs off into town and we gotta find him to get the key. You have to battle him like 10 times before he finally gives up. Bunch of ridiculous crap happens before you can actually get on the monorail to get to Rose Tower. Once you get there, you and Hop have to ride this big ass elevator, and every few floors you have to battle some more of those fake Pokemon League people. You team battle with Hop, and for some dumb reason he always sends out this Dubwool first. Mind you, all these trainers use nothing but Steel type, so he's pretty much useless here. Anyways, you make it to the top, and look what we have here. She really doesn't want you guys here, so she goes apeshit crazy and battles you. Calm down, lady. She has a bunch of girly Pokemon. That seems to be a common theme with female antagonists. Well, this Garbodor isn't very girly. But she's a fairly tough battle, so heal up before approaching her. After you beat her, she looks all defeated, then you can finally see what Rose and Leon are up to. What's up with this creepy cutscene? So I guess Rose is trying to convince Leon to help him with some plan, but it would require them to cancel the championship tournament. I guess the energy needed to power all of Galar would be fully depleted in about 1,000 years, which would lead to some catastrophic tragedy. So the chairman has some plans to rectify this crisis now to ensure a bright future, even though it's 1,000 years away. Wait, didn't we hear something about 1,000 years earlier? It doesn't matter anyways. Leon doesn't seem to care about his plans, but he said he'll help as long as the tournament still happens. Anyways, now you and Hop interrupt them. Rose seems to be a little bit annoyed, but then you guys all leave. Rose, don't you try anything stupid. The next day, a Pokemon League staff comes to escort you to the stadium. Screw off, lady. Oh, never mind, I guess she's one of the good ones. So you get to the stadium, get checked in, and now we're ready for the big leagues. Before you start the actual tournament, Bede storms onto the field and demands a battle with you. I guess he's actually the fairy gym leader now. He's still arrogant as ever, but he's humbled up quite a lot. Maybe Granny taught him some lessons in manners. Well, he'll need that if he wants to be a gym leader. So the champion tournament is this game's equivalent to the Elite Four. There's actually no Elite Four members in this game. Instead, you battle the gym leaders in an 8-bracket tournament. Later on, when you redo the tournament, other challengers like Hop and Marnie and other random NPCs will be a part of the tournament as well. I actually much prefer this to the usual Elite Four format. It's a much more realistic concept, and it feels more inclusive. So as you saw, I had to face Nessa, Alistair, and Raihan. I think it's like that for the first time for everyone, but I could be wrong though. But since you won, now you get to face the champion. Right? Right? Well, we're walking out to meet the champion. Wrong! Rose pops up on screen to let everyone know that he's bringing the darkest days upon Galar. Wait, what? So these beams pop up in the stadium and all the gyms across Galar. So I guess this is the end of the world then. So Leon goes running off to try to stop Rose. You and Hop decide that since Sonia was talking about those two heroes ending the darkest days the first time, you decide to try to find those wolf Pokemon from the forest in the beginning. Anyhow, Sonia is already there, and you three go exploring the forest. There they are. Quick, catch them! Throw a ball! Oh, they're gone. You end up at this neat looking area, and you find these old relics. A rusty sword and shield. You and Hop each take one. Maybe they'll come in handy later? Either way, there isn't time to sit around, so we gotta get back to Hammerlock and see how Leon is holding up against Rose. When you get to Hammerlock Stadium, you see Olina pitter-pattering around. What do you want? She pleads for your help. I guess all of her Pokemon Dynamaxed and went berserk. And if this dark energy keeps radiating, all of the Pokemon in Galar will Dynamax and destroy everything. So again, she begs you to stop Rose before he destroys everything, including himself. Damn, things got crazy real fast. So the chairman talks about preserving the future of Galar again. I guess they've been feeding those wishing stars to Eternus to awaken it, so it can bring about the darkest days. He mentions those abrupt kabooms that were happening earlier were part of those experiments to awaken Eternus. He truly believes that what he's doing is the right thing. But to be honest, I don't give a fuck. So you battle him, and like those fake Pokemon League staff members, he uses Steel Pokemon. My little Sizzlepede has come a long way since that fire gym. Go get him! Hey, there's the Copperija that destroyed the mural. So after you beat him, he pretty much admits defeat, and tells you to head up the elevator to go check on Leon. Well, that was easy. So you head up to find Leon facing Eternus with his Charizard. He seems to have it under control. Until his Pokeball explodes and he fails. Step aside, champ. It's time for Big Daddy to show you how it's done. So you have to battle with Eternus. It's a bit tanky, but it's 6 against 1, so you should be fine. But then... Dynamaxes, so now you're screwed. None of your moves work on it now for some reason. It keeps storing energy each turn. It's gonna blast us away! Then Hop gets the idea to use the rusted sword and shield. So you pull them out, and this happens. So both Samazenta and Zacian battle alongside you and Hop, just like the original stories of the heroes during the darkest days. Once you beat Eternus, you have to capture it to contain its power. It's a 100% catch rate, so feel free to use any Pokeball you want. Just like that, you've done it. You've saved the region of Galar from the darkest days. See you later, wolf Pokemon. So after all that, here we are again in Winden. I guess the word on the street is that Rose turned himself in for all the damage that he caused. Good. But there's still one last thing you need to do before this journey is over. You need to beat the champion. So when you head to the stadium, there's no waiting around. You step out to the field and get straight to business. The crowd is pretty hyped for this match. They love Leon, the unbeatable champion, but they also know that you saved Galar from the darkest days. So this is a battle that everyone is tuning into. His Pokemon are pretty tough, and to be honest, I actually had to go grind out some levels and come back to actually beat him. His Charizard is a menace, but I'm sure you could beat it. And then, that's it. You're the new champion of Galar. There really isn't much to say, to be honest. Sure, you had rivals both friendly and unfriendly. You faced trials such as the Darkest Day and overcame the unbeatable champion. That was the goal of your journey through Galar after all. And what do you know? You made it happen. I'd say that's a great end to a long journey. I don't think it could be any better. Except, that isn't the end. There's still the post-main story and 2 expansions to talk about. So it starts you off back in your bedroom when Professor Magnolia visits. She thanks you for saving the world pretty much and gives you a Master Ball. Now the credits actually hinted that we should go to the Slumbering Weld, so you head there and you see Hop there already. You and Hop decide to return the Sword and Shield relics, but then these 2 assholes show up. Hey, stop laughing. Stop laughing! Basically, they're here to try to steal those relics. You win your battle, but then Hop loses his, of course, so they run off with the Sword relic. So now you go on this little quest with Pierre's, in which you try to track down these weirdos. They pretty much visit every single gym, and you have to do some Dynamax battle in every single one of them. Near the end, they end up summoning Zacian on top of the Hammerlock Stadium, and they use some weird particles to try to set it off and go crazy, but then Zamazenta shows up. Zacian seems to calm down and ends up running off, and then Zamazenta wants to battle you. So you catch the legendary wolf, and then you head back to the Slumbering Weld, and now you have to battle Hop. Except he has Zacian, so yeah, have fun with that. So now it's time to talk about the Isle of Armor, the first expansion in this game. So to start this DLC, you head over to Wedgehurst and you meet this strange looking individual. You have to catch this Galarian Slowpoke before you can proceed. If you have the DLC, then you should already have your armor pass and you can go straight to the Isle of Armor. So this dude was trying to join the dojo on the island, but he was scared off by this guy. This is Avery. I can't blame that guy for being scared. Avery sees you and thinks you're supposed to be the new recruit for the dojo, so you kinda just get dragged along into joining. He wants to battle you outside, but I'm the champion, so this will be easy. So if you were playing Sword, you'd be recruited by this girl named Clara instead. She pretends like she's all girly and nice, but she's actually mischievous and sneaky. Avery kinda just comes off as a whiny brat. Honestly, I've never heard of Clara until making this video, and she seems like a way better character than Avery. Oh well, we're playing Shield, so get used to him. Anyhow, the battle's pretty quick, and he's all frazzled that you beat him. Then he tries to discourage you from even going to the dojo. So you head straight to the dojo that he told you to ignore, and then you're greeted by this lady. She's outside to receive the new dojo recruit, which is me, I guess? Avery plays kiss ass and tries to pretend like he totally didn't just tell you to screw off earlier. Anyways, this is Honey. She's the wife of the dojo master and she invites you in. Then you're threatened by Mr. Avery. And hey, look, what's that? When you get inside, you're welcomed by the rest of the students, and then you meet Mustard, the master of the dojo. You battle him real quick, and everyone's all shocked that you won. Who is this kid? I'm, the guy that saved the world? The champion? Mustard seems to already know that you're technically not supposed to be here, but he welcomes you here anyways. And then you get your dojo uniform. Yeah, I think I'll pass on the man bun. Avery gets all mad and complains that you got a uniform before him. Then Mustard goes to hand him one, but a Slowpoke steals it. These 3 Slowpoke run off with the new uniform, so Mustard decides to make the first trial out of this. Whoever can catch any of the Slowpoke will win. They all go running off like rat race, but first I gotta get rid of this man bun. So this whole expansion takes place within one wild area. It's a nice change from being stuck in cities or routes. These slowpokes are fast as hell, but your bike is faster. So you battle all 3 of them, and then you return to Mustard. I guess Leon was the only other person who was able to catch all 3 slowpokes. We'll never stop hearing about that guy, huh? Anyways, afterwards you have a choice to make. Bulbasaur or Squirtle? Where's Charmander? Well, Leon gives you a Charmander at one point in the game, so it makes sense that only these 2 are present. I chose Squirtle. This leads us to our second trial. Mustard talks about a recipe for a max soup, a soup which can increase the Dynamax level of your Pokemon. So the second trial is picking max mushrooms. He shows you where you could find them, and I guess you have to find 3. So, you make your way across the lands and through the caves, and you find some mushrooms. Avery comes running up saying that he saw them first and wants to battle you for them. Screw off, bro, these are my mushrooms. After you beat him, he runs off and thinks he can find better mushrooms. Sure, buddy. When you get back to the dojo, it turns out no one else was able to find any mushrooms. Wow, those students kinda suck, to be honest. Right as they're about to cook the mushrooms that you found, Avery comes running in, and I guess he actually found some. Congrats, partner. So they cook his instead, which is actually a good thing because you can use yours later. So now that you've had your fill of max soup, it's time for the final trial. Since it's just you and Avery left, you 2 have to face each other in a Dynamax battle. Man, who would have thought? The Dojo Master speaks to you about Avery. Apparently, he's always done the bare minimum at the dojo, but since you arrived, he seems to have a new passion for training. So the winner of this battle will be granted with Secret Armor. Is that a new outfit? Anyways, you and Avery start your battle, and it ends up the same as every other battle you've had with him. Yet again, you win. He seems crushed this time though, especially since he's been cheating and complaining this whole time. He apologizes for everything that he's done, and gives you the freedom to tell the Master everything. But Mustard already knew about all that crap. Normally Avery would have been expelled, but he let him off the hook this time. Nice. Everyone gathers around because you're about to be presented with the secret armor. Hell yeah, let's see what it looks like. It's not an outfit. This is the premier Pokemon of this expansion, Kubfu. You get it at level 10, and now, the only thing left to do in the expansion is to evolve it. Well, to evolve Kubfu, you have to get its friendship all the way up. To raise its friendship, you go around the island with Kubfu following you and check out some of the vistas. It gets a lot of enjoyment out of that, I guess. Once you're done, you have to challenge one of the 2 towers, Tower of Water or the Tower of Darkness. I chose the Tower of Darkness for this playthrough. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the game recommends that you train your Kubfu up to level 70 before attempting these towers. Yeah, that was one hell of a grind fest. Anyways, you battle all these students on each floor. There's 5 floors in total, and at the end, you face Ketchup. I mean Mustard. He also battles you with the Kubfu. Now, Kubfu can learn Aerial Ace, which is a flying type move, but I find it's more effective to just use close combat. Also, his Kubfu has a Focus Sash, so be prepared for that. Once you're done, you can finally evolve your Kubfu. Basically, you just activate this banner thing. And now we have the Dark type Urshifu, a dark fighting type bear. Wait, don't we already have one of those? So anyways, you have your Urshifu. Now we are completely done with the Isle of Armor. Or not. You head back to the dojo and you're greeted by Hop. This is my island, get lost. Anyhow, I guess he's Sonia's lab assistant now. He decided since he'll never be champ, he wants to become a Pokemon professor. So Hop is here to learn more about Dynamaxing, so the Dojo Master sends us on this wild goose chase to find the secret ingredient for a max soup that Urshifu will actually eat. I guess it doesn't like mushrooms. So we get this cute little side quest with the Lost Petalil, and you have to find its mother, Lilligant, and lead it back to the Lost Petalil. Anyways, the secret ingredient is not from Lilligant, it's actually honey. So you go and battle a Dynamax Vespiquen on this island. Now that you have your Max Honey, it's time to show it to Mustard. Now he thinks you're ready for the ultimate showdown. It's a full-on battle with Mustard. Honestly, he's probably the toughest battle you've faced so far in the game, but by this point, you're pretty powerful, so he's not that hard. Once you're done with the battle, that's it. That's all of the story content of the Isle of Armor. Now I think it's time we move on to the next expansion. So to kick off the Crown Tundra DLC, you head to the Wedgehurst monorail station and make use of your Crown Tundra pass. As you leave the station, you step out into the snowy tundra. I'm not sure what else you'd expect. Moments after you arrive, you see a girl arguing with her father for some reason. She wants to go to some place called the Max Lair, but he wants to take her on some sort of expedition. She asks you to back her up on this, but hey, look, I'm just a bystander. I don't want anything to do with this. Now he wants to battle me. Shit! His name is Peony, and he uses Steel-type Pokemon. They're not too tough, but it's a small sample of what's to come. After you beat him, it seems his daughter had used your battle as an opportunity to sneak away. Anyways, he doesn't seem bothered by it and goes chasing after her. I guess we should follow. In fact, he invites you over to join. So here is the Max Lair, the main attraction for Peony's daughter. He's harassing this scientist lady to get past her. It's kind of funny, to be honest. So this lady explains to you the DLC's new game mode called Dynamax Adventures. Peony runs past her before she could even start explaining. But anyways, it's a multiplayer mode in which you use randomly pre-selected Pokemon to battle through Dynamax Pokemon until you make it to the end. Those hearts are your team's health. Basically, if 4 Pokemon are KO'd, you fail and have to restart. The last Pokemon you face will always be a legendary Pokemon. You can get almost every single legendary Pokemon through Dynamax Adventures. Most people farm shinies in this mode. The odds per Pokemon being a shiny is 1 in 300 without a shiny charm, and 1 in 100 with the charm. Anyways, I can talk about Dynamax Adventures for an entire hour-long video if I really wanted, so I'll just stop right there. Once you finish the Dynamax Adventure, you bump into Peony's daughter. Her name is Peonia. She apologizes for ditching you with her father earlier, and to be honest, I don't blame her. I guess she's shocked to hear that you actually beat him. So now she gets an idea. Her father was trying to take her on this adventure thing, so now she tries to push this tour onto you instead, so she can keep battling in this Max Lair. You little bitch. I try to say no, but she insists, then she runs off on her jolly way like she's the smartest person in the world. We get back to the main part of the cave, and there he is, knocked out like a rock. He seems a little disappointed at first that his daughter doesn't want to be part of his adventure, but then he's totally down to take you instead. You know what, screw her, let's go on this adventure, hell yeah! So you go with Peony to this small village called Freezington. The villagers seem sorta depressed, to be honest. I guess no one visits their town anymore. Anyways, Peony has a cabin set up there that you can sort of use as a base of operations. You get a new outfit for the expedition. It gives you a few crudely drawn clues that will supposedly lead you to various legendary Pokemon. I guess we can start with legendary clue number 1 since it's sort of the main event of the DLC. There's this statue outside that appears to be missing something. Its hat. I guess Peony was using it as a pillow. So we take it from him and put it back on the statue. Then this weird looking Pokemon leads you behind some bushes. You battle it. I guess it's psychic type, so use Dark or Ghost. And then it tries to talk to you. Can't speak like a human, obviously, so it mind controls Peony to talk to you. So basically, in this little quest line, this Pokemon called Calyrex is asking for your assistance to help bring back its power as the King of Bountiful Harvests. Essentially, the people thousands of years ago would sort of worship the king to bless the land to bring about bountiful harvests. But it seems the people of today have lost faith since the harvests haven't been all that great. So we help Calyrex by locating its noble steed, which is a horse Pokemon of choice. It could be either Glastrier, the ice type, or Spectrier, the ghost type. I went with Spectrier. Calyrex can't control the horse right away though, so you have to create this item called the Reins of Unity, and lure the horse to the Crown Shrine with a special carrot. Calyrex tames the horse, and then you get to battle Calyrex. If you want to catch him, but accidentally KO him, he'll still be there and you can immediately battle him again though, so don't worry about saving beforehand. Anyways, the first legendary clue is complete. Now the rest of the legendary clues are a lot more straightforward. For example, the legendary clue 2 just hints you to go find the legendary giants in these small temples. They're all behind super easy puzzles to solve, and once you have the 3 Hoenn giants, there's one more that you can get. You can choose between either Regieleki or Regidrago. Now it's not part of the clue, but you can actually face Regigigas if you get all 5 Regis. Legendary Clue 3 starts with this cutscene when you first approach the Dynamax tree. I like these versions of the legendary birds. Anyhow, after that cutscene, these Pokemon can be found roaming around the wild areas. Just chase them down and battle them. Articuno is a psychic type and can be found in the Crown Tundra. It makes all these clones, then it just flies off all the time. Zapdos is a fighting type, and it's in the original Wildlands. It runs super fast, but slows down as it starts to get tired. Make sure you battle these Pokemon in areas that don't have hazards like hail. And finally, there's Moltres. It's Dark type and it's in the Isle of Armor, so if you want Moltres and you don't own the Isle of Armor expansion, then I guess you're shit out of luck. You also bump into Sonia at one point. She's investigating these tracks and believes they may be from legendary Pokemon. So you have to run around and interact with these tracks scattered all around Crown Tundra, and once you get them all, you could battle the legendary Swords of Justice. So that's Virizion, Terrakion, and Cobalion. Once you catch all 3 of them, there's a secret one you can get on this little island. You have to make soup while camping here with the 3 Swords of Justice with you, then Keldeo will pop up. These Pokemon are actually not a legendary clue like the others. There's a lot of legendary Pokemon to get in Crown Tundra. Hell, you can even get Cosmog once you complete the Calyrex clue. Once all the clues are complete, you unlock even more Pokemon. So you talk to Peony after all the clues are finished, but then he admits that he made most of them up. That asshole. But Peonia stops by. I guess she's actually ready to try out the Advent Tour, but it's already finished. So he scrambles to make up some more real fast, and that pisses his daughter off, so she runs back to the Max Lair. If you follow him to the Max Lair, this cutscene plays. All these people run out of the Max Cave, all scared because I guess an Ultra wormhole opened up. Pretty much that unlocks the ability to find Ultra Beasts in the Dynamax adventures. Nice. Technically one more legendary clue is given to you after this, but pretty much all you have to do is catch Necromza in a Dynamax adventure. And well, that's pretty much it for Crown Tundra. Once you leave the Max Lair, you get a phone call from Leon. He asks you to come visit the Wyndham Stadium for some reason. Okay, sure, I'll go there, but there's still one more thing I forgot to do. Peonia mentions a rumor within the Crown Tundra that there's some long-haired lady stalking about at nighttime. You find the lady near the tombstones, and well, it's none other than Alina. I guess she heard rumors that Rose was seen in the area, so she's out here searching for him. Then Peony arrives. Once she sees Peony, she realizes that the rumors that she heard were all false. It turns out Peony is actually Rose's brother, so the rumors she heard describing Rose were actually that of his brother instead. So she leaves the area and we don't see her again. Anyhow, let's go see what Leon wanted now. When you get to the stadium, you see a bunch of familiar faces. Challengers, gym leaders, and other important characters. Well, I guess Leon took over for Rose as a facilitator for the Pokemon League and came up with a new idea. This is the Star Tournament. Basically in the Star Tournament, it's an 8-bracket tournament just like the regular championship, but instead you do double battles with any of the other trainers or gym leaders that you want. As you complete the tournaments, you unlock more characters that you can pair up with. They did a good job with the little banter between teams, and I felt it was a nice addition to end the game off with. To unlock it, you need to have beaten the main story and completed both the Isle of Armor and the Crown Tundra. After the introduction tournament, you get $1 million. Hell yeah. And well, that's pretty much everything there is to say about this game. It was fun playing through again though, and seeing the game again makes me excited to see what Scarlet and Violet are going to bring to the table. Yeah, Sword and Shield are pretty cheesy to be honest, but isn't that the same with all Pokemon games? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching.